Today we are going to look at how to use present perfect tense and past simple tense. And today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're actually going to use one of my real lessons that I created about 5 or 6 years ago when I was actually teaching in a classroom. So let's start off with these 3 questions. Have you ever? Have you this week? And have you today? For example, have you ever eaten pizza? This means, in your whole life, do you have one or more experiences eating pizza? And if someone asks you this question, the basic way to answer is just, yes, I have, no, I haven't. And let's think about that question a little bit more. Have you ever? So this means in your whole life. So right now, is your life finished or not finished? Your life is not finished. Your life is still continuing right now. So this question is about a time period that is continuing right now. Have you studied English this week? Again, you could answer, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. And this week, is this week finished or not finished? That's right. This week is not finished. This week is still continuing right now. Have you drunk coffee today? Again, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. So if someone asks me, I would say, no, I haven't. And today, is today finished or not finished? Correct. Today is not finished. Today is still continuing right now. So for these 3 questions, they are all about time periods that are still continuing right now. Time periods that are not yet finished. And if you didn't know this, all of these questions are present perfect tense. Present perfect tense uses have and the third form of the verb. Now let's go down to the next 3 questions. Did you ride a bicycle when you were a child? The question is did you, so the basic answer can be just yes, I did, or no, I didn't. So for me, the answer is yes, I did. And then, when you were a child, are you still a child right now? No, you're not. Unless you are a child, but my videos are not designed for children, so you are probably an adult. If you are an adult, when you were a child is a finished time period. So this is about a time period that is 100% in the past. Did you drive a car yesterday? For me, yes, I did. And yesterday, finished or not finished? Finished. Yesterday is 100% in the past. Did you eat breakfast this morning? Well, right now it is 2 p.m. So this morning is finished. This morning is 100% in the past. And yes, I did. I had breakfast this morning. So now let's think about those questions and think about the things that I have just explained as we go on to the next page. So this says, circle the correct tense. It says circle because this was originally a worksheet. But right now, I just want you to listen and think about it. Past simple is used with specific times or non-specific times. What do you think? If you said specific times, you are correct. Yesterday, 10 minutes ago, 2 weeks ago. These are specific times. Present perfect is used with specific past times or non-specific past. If you said non-specific past, you are correct. We do not use present perfect with yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 weeks ago, or last year. We can use it with specific times, but only if they are specific times that are continuing right now. Number 3, present perfect or past simple, which one, is usually used when we have little or no information. And this is often to start a conversation when we don't know anything. Do you start a conversation with, "Did you go to Mexico?" or "Have you been to Mexico?" If you said, "Have you been to Mexico?" that is correct, and that is present perfect. We usually use present perfect when we don't have much information yet. After we get more specific information, we have a specific event, we have a specific time, then we will use past simple. Number 4, ever and never are usually used with, what do you think? Present perfect or past simple? If you said present perfect, you are correct. And I want to be very clear here. This is usually. This is to help you better understand the differences between present perfect and past simple. But will you hear people use ever and never with past simple sometimes? Yes, you will. But for today, I want you to be thinking about present perfect when you see ever and never. Number 5, present perfect or past simple, which one, is usually used for telling stories or giving a sequence of events. A, then B, then C. If you said past simple, you are correct. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went shopping, I bought some donuts, and then I went home and I ate them. Number 6, present perfect or past simple is often used to show change and how something is now different. When we hear the word now different, we should be thinking, oh, now means present. So if you said present perfect, you are correct. For example, you see your friend, you haven't seen this person in a long time, you might say, wow, you have gotten so tall. They are taller now than they were the last time that you saw them. Number 7, present perfect or past simple, which one, is often used to talk about past actions with present results. Again, we hear the word present, present perfect. So this is present perfect. We often use this to talk about something that happened in the past, but it's important right now. Number 8, present perfect or past simple, which one, can only be used with a finished time. For example, yesterday, last week, 2 years ago. We've actually already talked about this. We should understand this by now. This is past simple. Number 10, for can be used with both tenses, but since can only be used with because it means that something is continuing now. So with which tense do you think we can use since? And again, continuing now. If it's continuing now, do you think present perfect or past simple? If you said present perfect, you are correct. So we do not usually use since with past simple. And 11, already, just, yet, and still are usually used with present perfect or past simple. And I want to be very careful again here. I use the word usually because you can actually use these words in many tenses, or I think probably every tense. But for today, which tense do you think I want you to be thinking about? If you said present perfect, you are correct. So for today, helping you to understand the differences between these two tenses, I want you to think about present perfect when you see these words. But I also want you to remember that we can use them with other tenses as well. Number 12 is not actually a question. This is just a rule that I want to give you. Yet and still are usually used in negative sentences. For today's language, for today's grammar, there are other situations in which you can use them in positive sentences. But I want you to understand that today, when we are using yet and still, these are going to be in negative sentences with the word not. Now, we've got an activity. Fill in the blanks using the rules on the previous page. Number 1, a car. We see that I want you to use the words never and drive. If we have never, which tense do you think I want you to use? If you said present perfect, you are correct. And remember, present perfect, you need have or has and the third form of the verb. We see that we have I, so it should be I have. Then we have never, I have never, and then we need the third form of drive. What is the third form of drive? The third form is driven. I have never driven a car. Number 2, yesterday a mistake while working on my report. So we have the verb notice. Oh, I see that. I noticed that. But what is the key word here that tells us which tense we should use? Think about the time. When did this happen? So, yesterday. Is yesterday going to be present perfect or past simple? And again, remember, yesterday is finished. For finished times, we use past simple. Past simple means that we need the second form of the verb. So this is noticed. Yesterday, I noticed a mistake while working on my report. Number 3, she's a great employee. She here since February. And the verb is work. There's 2 things that I want you to notice. The first one is she's a great employee. That means that she works here or works there now. So if she works there now, which tense do you think we are going to use? And the second thing I want you to notice is the word since. If we have the word since, which tense do you think we are going to use? The answer to both of those questions is present perfect. She's a great employee. She, we know that we need have or has. Because it is she, we need to use has. She has. Then we need the third form of the verb, worked. She has worked here since February. Okay, number 4. When I was younger, football, and the verb is play. So when I was younger, are you younger right now? Or is that 100% finished? It's 100% finished. And if it's 100% finished, which tense do we need to use? Past simple. So we just need the second form of the verb, and that is played. When I was younger, I played football. Number 5, me to go home, so I home, but now I'm at a restaurant. We have tell and go. There are a few things that I want you to notice here. First, me to go home, so I home. A and then be. That is a story. That is a sequence of events. First this, and then this. Which tense did I say we usually use for that? Past simple. Also, but now I'm at a restaurant. But now I'm at a restaurant also tells us that we need to use past simple because it means that being at home is now 100% in the past. I'm not there anymore because now I'm at a restaurant. So we need past tense verbs. Tell. The past tense verb is told. He told me to go home, so I go. The past tense verb is went. He told me to go home, so I went home, but now I'm at a restaurant. We've got a few more, and then we will be finished. We've got 6 through 18. So 6. How many times you visit Thailand last year? What's the key word? Last year. Last year, present perfect or past simple? Past simple. Last year is finished. So to make a question in past simple, we need did. How many times did you visit Thailand last year? Number 7. You ever to California? What's the key word here? Ever. We see ever, we think present perfect. We see you, and we're making a question, so we know that it's have you. Have you ever to California? Some people will use go, went, gone, but it's much better to use been. Have you ever been to California? Because gone really usually means that you are in that place right now. And that's not what we're talking about here. Number 8. I'm in Thailand for 10 years, but now I live in the US. So am I in Thailand now? If now I'm in the US? No, I'm not. So what tense? Past simple. And we see I live, so here it's probably also live. I lived in Thailand. And yes, it could also be I worked or I studied or whatever, but it makes sense to use live because the second part, we're talking about living in the US. Number 9, he with me yet. When we see the word yet. Oh, also we have the verb speak. But when we see yet, which tense do you think I want you to think about? Present perfect. And remember, when we see yet, it's usually going to be in a negative sentence when we are using present perfect. So he, we need have or has. So because the subject is he has. We need to make it negative. So he has not. Then before yet, we need the verb. Speak, we need the third form of the verb. Spoken. He has not spoken with me yet. That one's a little bit more difficult, but I want you to remember, in present perfect tense, yet is usually going to be in a negative sentence or in a question. Number 10, I English for 6 years and I plan to continue studying it. If you plan to continue something, you're probably doing it right now. So if you're doing it right now, what tense do you think we should use? Not past simple, because past simple is about things that are finished. So present perfect. I have. And there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can say, I have studied English for 6 years, or you could say, I have been studying English for 6 years. When you have a time period for 6 years, for 3 days, Present perfect and present perfect continuous are basically the same. Okay, number 11. He is waiting because he called me yesterday. Let's start there. Yesterday. We see yesterday, past tense. Past tense verb for call, called. He is waiting because he called me yesterday and I not call him back yet. It's a negative sentence and we see yet. Yet. So if it's yet, present perfect tense. I have or I has. I have. So I have not, third form of the verb, called. He is waiting because he called me yesterday and I have not called him back yet. 12. She's still the room. I hope she does it soon. If we see still, again, think negative sentence for the grammar that we're talking about today, and think present perfect. She have or she has? She has. So, she still has, we need not and book. Not goes before the verb. The third form of book, or to reserve, the third form is booked, ed. She still has not booked the room. I hope she does it soon. 13. Anything for Christmas. Maybe next year. And I want to explain this a little bit. When we say maybe next year, that means this year wasn't good. Maybe next year will be better. Does that mean that Christmas is still continuing this year, or Christmas is finished this year? Christmas is finished. So if Christmas is finished, which tense do we need to use? Past simple. So, not. It's past simple. I not. We don't say I not. We say I did not. The verb is get, so get. I did not get anything for Christmas. Maybe next year. Maybe next year I will get something for Christmas. 14. I was so worried that you were sick. So I was. We already see I was, which tells us past tense. Also, when you see when I tells us that we are talking about a specific time. So specific time in the past, we know that it's past simple. Past simple verb for here is heard. Heard. I was so worried when I heard that you were sick. 15. The guests a few minutes ago arrive. A few minutes ago. When you see ago, that is about a finished time in the past. So we know past simple. The guests, past simple, we just need verb to, second form of the verb, arrived. The guests arrived a few minutes ago. 16. To my manager, and he is going to help me. So we have speak. To my manager, and he is going to help me. That sounds like he is going to help me because of something that I did in the past. So my past action has a present result. Something is happening now because of something I did in the past. Which tense did I say we should use for that? Present perfect. So speak, we need have and third form of the verb. Third form of speak is speak, spoke, spoken. I have spoken to my manager and he is going to help me. 17. Someone my bag this morning. Again, it's 2:30 p.m. right now, so this morning is finished. This morning is a past time. So, past simple tense. We need the second form of the verb. Someone stole my bag this morning. The three forms of steal are steal, stole, stolen. Finally, number 18. This movie many times, but I didn't tell you exactly when. I'm just talking about the past in general, no specific time, just in my life. When we think about in my life, again, my life is continuing right now, so present perfect. See, third form of the verb, seen. So I have seen this movie many times. So yeah, this is how we use present perfect and past simple. This is not everything, but these are the main things that I usually talk about when I begin teaching students about these two tenses. I hope you learned something today. Thank you for watching.